Hi viewers, I wanted to film the beginning of an experiment I'm going to try. I just now got the idea and I don't know if it's going to work or be a failure. So I thought, well, before I try it, let me film it and share it with others in case it's successful. You can do it. If it's a disaster, you'll know not to. One of the things, oh darn, I'm boiling water. Hold on. Okay, viewers, sorry about that. I call it my food detector because that darn thing beeps every time my food is ready. In this case, I was only boiling water. So I have these soup beans that are dry. I have bags and bags, like grocery bags full of them. And, you know, the outer, I have a glove on because I have such bad poison ivy on my hands. The outer skin is just crumbly and brittle and dry. Usually what I do with my beans, I'll put them in a bigger container, put a couple of rocks in there, which have been cleaned, of course, and I shake it really hard, and the beans come out. But I got an idea about these wrappers. Since they're so dry and crumbly, I'm going to try putting some in my coffee grinder and grinding them very, very fine and seeing if it won't be a good source of food and or pulp for the worms. You know, in the state that they come off the I'm making a mess. In the state that they come off when you first pick them, aren't these pretty beans? Okay, another subject. You know, they're dry, they're crunchy, and it would take a really long time for them to break down to be soft enough for the worms to do anything with them. It would be in there for months, I'm sure. But what if I grind them up and make powder out of them? So let's try. Hold on, and I'm going to get my coffee grinder. Okay, so I filled a small magic bullet cup with about 6 bean pods. I'm going to screw it together and give it a whirl and show you what it looks like when it's ground. I hope it's very powdery. Just want to show you again these beans and how pretty they are. They remind me of little robin's eggs. It's funny, those two came out of the pod there, where their little lines line up as if I arranged them on purpose. No, nothing on purpose about that. These are the prettiest little beans. Okay, let's grind this up. Okay, I'm back. So I ground it up, and I'm just shaking it so you can see how powdery it is. It's really super fine. There's a little bit of like strings in there. I don't know what the proper term, long chain fibers. Ooh, now I'm being fancy for my dieting days. So those wouldn't be consumed as pulp, of course. Grit. I'm saying pulp, grit. But they certainly would be a nice addition to the bedding. So this is my euros that I received today. I put a little label on them. European night crawlers, 1 pound, 1027.21 from Midwest Worms. And I'm going to just sprinkle this on top of here. You could, and I didn't grind this for more than about 20 seconds because I wasn't really sure what to expect, having never done this before. But it looks really, really nice. You can see it coming out. I probably could have ground it longer or put the bigger particles through a sifter, but what they don't consume as a grit, it'll go into their bed, I'm sure. So, okay, I'm not going to do any more because I don't know if this will be a good idea or just a nothing idea. Since I only got these worms today, I'm not expecting them to go on a feeding frenzy tonight, although they very may well do that. What I am going to do is grind some more up and put them in the big boy here, my worm bag. I'm sorry, it's been a frantic day here. I can't even get my words out. I'm going to put some in there. And it's about 5 o'clock here now. About 2 a.m. I'm going to come back and peek in. And I bet you the worms in there are going to be going crazy. So for now, I'm going to cover these euros with a paper bag, give them some darkness, and see what happens. And I will follow up with the results of how things work out with the dried soup bean pod ground feeding. That was way too fancy. Okay, see you soon. So it is 6:30 p.m. and I'm going to sprinkle this ground bean pod fiber in here in the urban worm bag, and then we're going to check in on it somewhere around 3 or 4 a.m. tonight, just in a few hours before I go to bed. You can see how fine it is. No, those aren't insects flying, it's just this. It smells like wheat. Oh my goodness, it smells like fresh ground wheat. It smells really, really good. Of course, it isn't wheat, but I think these guys are gonna go into a feeding frenzy on this. And if this is successful, I have enough that I can grind that'll last, well, a very long time. So, okay, gonna zip this up, let everything settle down, and we'll be back in a few hours. Look at all the little fuzzies flying around from it. It's funny. Hi, folks. Okay, so it's 2:10 a.m. In my last video, I added ground bean pod shells to the urban worm bag, and I said I was going to pop in around 3 a.m. and do a surprise visit to see if they were going in a feeding frenzy. So it's not 3, but 2:10. They've had it for 6 hours, so that should be enough to have provoked them to get to the top and get going crazy. I'm going to turn the flash on as soon as I unzip this. I don't want to give them any warning that I'm coming in terms of like... Okay, you know what? If this is working, what I expect to see is a whole lot of worms up here at the surface. So let's see what we've got. Holy cow. Okay, let's just take a look around here. Evening condensation. And you know what? Most of what I sprinkled in here is gone. These guys completely devoured it already. There was a pretty thick layer of it on here. And while I can see a few flecks, that's about all I can see. They have devoured it, and of course they're doing their nightly let's go up the side and suck up the condensation event. And so that's what's going on here. Matter of fact, if you look at that worm right there, that looks to be yellow. Well, that's not the color of a worm. What you're seeing is his insides. He ate a whole bunch of that ground bean pod, and you're seeing it working through his entrails in there. That's pretty cool. It's actually really cool. So I'm gonna be obnoxious and just do a little bit of peeking. Now, I haven't added any other food. Looks like I interrupted the beginnings of a lineup session over there. Sorry guys, you can get busy after I turn the light off. I know, doesn't really give a good romantic mood, does it? I'm just going to stir this a little bit and then zoom back out. Now, I don't think there's anything left in here for them to eat. I had added that pumpkin, and all I'm finding is a couple of small scraps of cardboard. So I think they devoured. Well, no, I am finding something right here. What am I finding? Well, I'm finding a ball of worms, but why? Ah, bananas. That's right, I had some bananas that went bad. Well, of course that's going to equate into a ball of worms. If I were a worm, this is where I would be. So they do have those banana peels. I actually completely forgot I added those. I don't see any of the pumpkin, at least not yet. No, maybe I see a little piece. I did see a little piece. Oh yes, this massive piece of pumpkin. Kind of funny. I actually have another pumpkin, about a 12-pound pumpkin, that unfortunately also went soft before Halloween. So we're not going to be able to carve it. And what I think I'm going to do tomorrow is dig a hole in the center here and put that whole pumpkin in. I'm going to cut a hole in the top just to have it so it doesn't have to sit there and rot first, because I don't want it to get too disgusting. Because all I'm finding is like these little bits. But there's nothing. I mean, you can see what's in here. And other than some banana peel and a wee bit of pumpkin here, there's nothing. As always, the material looks really, really good. I can't pick up a single handful without lots and lots of worms, cocoons, babies, and really healthy looking castings. Let's see if there's any pumpkin over here. I don't believe that there is. Well, hello, friend. It's nice of you to join me. Nope. So yeah, there's just a little bit of, looks like junk mail there. Okay, well, they devoured the powdered, that's just, what is that actually? Oh, pieces of the, what is that? Oh, that's just pieces of some wood from the ground outside, branches, whatnot. So I'm going to bury this. There is zero food in here but a banana peel, and I don't even think there's any cardboard left. I'm digging down, and this was my cardboard bin, and the cardboard is gone. They have consumed the bin of cardboard. Of course, there are several thousand worms in here, and there are several types of worms in here. Look at all the cocoons. I just pick up worms, and you're going to see cocoons. This is like the healthiest, well, this is the healthiest bin I have, without a doubt. And it's also the most populated. And right now, it's the most starving, because there's no food left. It's kind of hard to feed 4,000 worms on a banana peel. Going to be a worm war going in. No wonder they devoured the ground up bean pods. So I hope this means I can harvest some castings from the bottom. Oh, I found a little piece of pumpkin. That's it. Wow, what voracious appetites, huh? Okay, I'm gonna let him go back to bed, and in another hour I'll be doing the same. So what I suspected about them eating the ground up bean pod was correct. They went into a frenzy. See this? I love looking at the sides because you'll find little ones and these dark ones. These are the really weird ones. I don't know what they are, but they're pretty cool. Of course, I've had the light on for some time now, so they're getting skittish, but another baby one. Another baby. That is a millipede. He's a welcome addition. Not sure exactly what's happening there. This is another one of the dark worms. The dark worms. They come from the dark web. And that is the tour of the inside of the bed. So the bean pod grindings are gone. The pumpkin is gone, but a very small piece. And this entire bin, now remember folks, you can look back at old videos. This bin was full to the top with paper, cardboard rather, not paper. Corrugated cardboard. And I don't add bedding after the initial bin setup. I add food only. I don't add bedding with my feedings. It's just my way of running my bins. It's not necessarily right or wrong. It's just what I find is best for my worm bins overall. So, well, that's it. I'm going to close this up and let them go back to finding what food there is. And I think tomorrow, when I do go ahead and add that giant pumpkin, I wonder if we can see it from here with the flash on. There it is. There's the big boy over there. We're going to add that giant thing because it's actually moldy all around the top. The top is rotting in. So we're going to just dig a hole in here and put the whole pumpkin in. I'm not even going to cut the top off or anything. I'm just going to put that whole pumpkin in here and then check in a couple days. And I expect to see a pumpkin carved jack-o'-lantern. It'll be quite interesting. There's another worm with black on it. Got these weird worms. Some of them are black tipped. Some of them have black segments in their body. And they're beautiful. Alright guys, hope everybody's probably asleep since I'm the only one that's up doing worm things at 2:15 in the morning, but hope everyone is having a good night and a good day tomorrow, and you can look for more updates and videos from me, and I'll be putting up a video tomorrow showing me adding the pumpkin to this bin because it is way down from where it was, and it is out of food. Have a good night.